Hello everyone, welcome to the Concern podcast where we unpack political, socio-economic and cultural stories shaping our world. I'm Emmanuel Taban, and on this video I want us to talk about the repatriation of a Mexican national by the names of J. Jesus Munoz Guterres from South Sudan to Mexico through the South Sudan Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, but also in relationship with the Mexican authority. In fact, this is a video of the South Sudan spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ambassador Apuk Ayuel Mayen, giving a statement regarding that. Let's see.
Official statement on the repatriation of Mr. J. Jesus Munoz Guterres to the United Mexican States. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation is pleased to announce the successful repatriation of Mr. J. Jesus Munoz Guterres, a national of the United Mexican States, to his country of origin today, September 6, 2025. Mr. Guterres was deported to the Republic of South Sudan by the United States of America as a third country national on the 5th of July, 2025. Today's repatriation was carried out by the governments of the Republic of South Sudan and the United Mexican States through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation and the Mexican Embassy in Addis Ababa. The process was conducted in full accordance with relevant international law, bilateral agreements, and established diplomatic protocols. This morning, the Honorable Minister, Ambassador Mande Simaya K. Kumba, held a productive bilateral meeting with His Excellency Alejandro Ives Estevil Castro, non-resident ambassador designate of Mexico to South Sudan.
Yes, and that was the ambassador, the spokesperson for the South Sudan Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Apuk. And just to give you a context, this guy here, Mr. J. Nunes, was one of the 8 nationals who were actually deported from the United States of America as Donald Trump's move to crack down on immigration last June on the 5th. He was among the 8 individuals who were deported from the United States to South Sudan. 7 of them were nationals from other countries, but then the one was South Sudanese. So Nunes was among the 8 people who were deported from the United States of America to South Sudan. And in fact, during that deportation, the government of Trump, the Trump administration, faced so many criticism from the judiciary of the country and all other civil societies, organizations, calling it that it is unlawful for Trump to deport all these nationals to the third world countries. But Trump insisted anyway. He didn't stop. And these 8 guys found their way in South Sudan in July 2028. So through relevant relationship and authority, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of South Sudan, led by Honorable Minister Simaya Mande Kumba, together with the relevant authority of Mexico, have actually decided to repatriate J. Munoz, this guy, Munoz to Mexico. And this was actually done after a very, very intense discussion where the Mexican authority had to promise the government of South Sudan that if Mr. Munoz is repatriated or returned to Mexico, he will not be actually tortured or put under custody. And there was a lot of course, agreement that was made by the 2 authorities of the country, that is the South Sudan Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Mexican authority. And by the way, the person who came to, or the person who this guy Munoz was handed over to, is the South Sudan non-resident ambassador designate, who is actually stationed in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. He came into South Sudan and he had a very, very lengthy conversation and diplomatic meeting with the South Sudan Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. And after that, this guy, Munoz, was handed over to the Mexican authority through the ambassador designate, that is the one stationed in Addis Ababa. And this is actually what the repatriated Mexican national had to say after when he was actually almost being handed to the Mexican authority. This is what he had to say. Let's watch.
I finished my time over there in the United States. I finished my time. They're supposed to report me back to Mexico, but they never made the process. They did it wrong, they did it wrong, and they sent me to South Sudan like basically like they kidnapped me. And well, I never think I was finna come to South Sudan, right? But to all this time I wasn't here. Really, they was wrong about what they talked about South Sudan. So South Sudan, they got a humble people. They treat me good, and it's a free country, and that's all I can say.
And just maybe before we continue with this video, if this is your first time landing on this channel, please, I encourage you to subscribe and hit the notification button so you can get notified of every new video we make on this channel. And if you also feel that your opinions should actually matter on this video, just comment down here and we will appreciate. It's just a way of growing this channel. And please subscribe, as I said. Yeah. So I feel this was also another win actually for the South Sudan Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, because after the Ministry of Foreign Affairs handed over the guy to the Mexican authority through the non-resident ambassador designated to South Sudan, the ambassador actually had to speak this.
Today I'm going to travel with him back to Addis Ababa, and from there he will be accompanied all the way to Mexico to be with his family. So we are thankful with the South Sudanese authorities that have helped us in all this process with all the proper conditions and with total fulfillment of all the human rights and a good treatment for the Mexican who stayed for some weeks here in South Sudan. We are very sure that this is going to strengthen the bilateral relationships between Mexico and South Sudan. The case of this deportee who arrived to South Sudan has been a successful story in which Jesus is going to be back with his family very soon. All its nationals coming back to the country without hesitation, without exemption, Mexico acceptance. The reason Jesus ended in South Sudan is something that at this moment we do not have exactly why it happened, but Mexico considers this a very important protection act of consular protection act of our embassies and consulates around the world. So we have a lot of experience in that. We do it on a regular basis, and we are very keen about protecting our nationals. So a case of a deportee of Mexico to a third country is something that we care about, and we take that very seriously, and we started.
And yeah, so that was just a very quick analysis or a quick update on the repatriation of J. Nunes Munoz Gutierrez, the Mexican national, to his original country, the United States of Mexico. And thanks again. I remain Emmanuel Taban. Until next time, this is the Concern Podcast.